Now, if you didn't see part one, go watch it first, because what I'm about to show you builds on something that once you see, you cannot unsee. We established something in part one: a red bag, a pocket, and a prosecutor who described a completely different location. We established that somewhere between the grass and the courtroom, something moved, and nobody publicly explained when or how or who was there when it happened. But today, I found a document over there on IG that makes that gap even harder to explain. This is an official investigative document, dated, signed, part of this case, and I need you to read this line with me. At 10:13 in the morning, an investigator called Metro Health Records and was told no drug testing was conducted on Mackenzie's blood because a physician canceled the order. Read that again. A physician canceled the order. Not a clerical error, not a scheduling conflict. Someone with the authority and the medical credentials to cancel a toxicology order did exactly that. And then at 10:30, confirmed separately, the emergency room never tested for her blood for drugs. A sample existed. It was collected days later, sitting at the hospital. Now I need you to bring in the science, because this is where everything connects. The active compound in mushrooms, psilocybin, is detectable in human blood for up to 3 to 6 hours. Not days, not weeks, hours. That crash happened at what time in the AM? Which means the window, the only scientific window, where a blood test could have told us definitively what was in her system at that exact moment of the crash, closed before noon, same day. And the test that it could have looked through the window was canceled while it was still open by someone with a name, with credentials, with the authority to make the call. Who? Why? And who, if anyone, asked them? Now here's where I need you to do something with your brain. Something that your brain does naturally. I need you to hold two things at the same time. On one side, a prosecutor telling a courtroom that drugs were found on Mackenzie. On the other side, a document confirming that the one test that could have told us what was in Mackenzie was canceled. Found near her is not the same as found in her. Proximity is not consumption, and consumption was never scientifically confirmed by anyone in the courtroom. Now, I want to introduce something that I haven't heard anyone talk about. There is a medical condition called POTS. I'm not even really going to try to say the name. Postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, something like that. It's an autonomic nervous system disorder. Your blood pressure drops without warning. Your heart rate spikes uncontrollably. And in severe episodes, consciousness leaves the body in seconds. No warning, no chance to react, gone. Now, psilocybin, the compound in those mushrooms, is a serotonin agonist. It binds directly to the receptors that regulate the same autonomic nervous system, the system that POTS has already compromised. Now, I need you to picture this, and I need you to feel it, not just process it. A young woman seated, early morning, her nervous system already fragile, now interacting with the compound science tells us directly manipulates that system. Her blood pressure drops, her heart rate surges, her body loses consciousness without a single warning. Now, medical science has a term for what happens to muscles the moment consciousness suddenly leaves. It's called tonic posturing. Muscles stiffen involuntarily, lower extremities lock, and if that foot is resting on an accelerator, it stays there, pressed down, with no body conscious to lift it. That car accelerates past 60, past 70, past 80, 90 miles per hour. And somewhere in that, an unrestrained young man realizes what's happening. He lunges forward, reaching, fighting, and Life 360, that silent witness, writes down 2 words: hard braking, no crash detected. Not a collision alert, hard braking. One means a car hit something, one means someone grabbed the brakes. Which one happened first? And who was doing the fighting? Now here is the question that I cannot let go of. The investigator subpoenaed Mackenzie school records, every report, every document, every medical accommodation on file. Potts requires school accommodation. Was it in those records? Was a forensic medical expert ever asked to connect the Potts diagnosis to psilocybin, to tonic posturing, to a locked foot on a gas pedal at 90 miles per hour? Because if the answer is yes, this conversation looks completely different. And if the answer is no, why not? Because that is not a criminal act. That is a medical emergency. And those two things require completely different conversations. The toxicology that could have confirmed what was in her system was canceled. The window where the truth still existed closed, and we will never know scientifically what her body was doing at 5:35 that morning, because someone canceled the one test that could have told us whether this was a choice or a crisis. Those are two different verdicts, and only one of them was ever considered. Now, part 3 is the part that made me put the phone down, because what happened in that courtroom at the very end, before the decision was read, should have not happened.